One, and we're recording, and it says we're streaming, but who knows if we actually are or not.
Yeah, who could say? Yeah, there we are. It popped up now.
I love how every single episode starts off with us just going, I wonder if we're live yet.
Yeah,
Like, we've done that more often than we've actually introduced ourselves in the show.
yeah,
Professional.
probably. Yeah,
Welcome to Shenanimegans, Season 8, Episode 2.
yeah. It's us. We're back again. I'm Leslie.
And I'm robot slash Sasam slash the 20 other usernames I use.
Yeah,
I don't know how people use one username. There's just so many good names out there that you gotta like hoard them. Just like
yeah.
one per site, so you can go by as many nicknames as you want and just fuck with people.
Mm, yeah. I don't know. I've never really found good names for me, so just had to stick with the one. I don't even like it. Ugh. So, yeah, we're back again.
We can
Yeah.
always change it right now.
No, I'm good. The last time we came up with a name on the spot, we came up with Shenanimegans, and I'm not so sure on that one.
I was gonna try to come up with like a Shenanime lastly,
Yeah.
which would have been even worse.
Oh, that is worse. Oh god.
Oh god, it's incredible.
Oh, we need to move on right away. Oh,
It's
get away
still
from this name talk.
it's still better than Kimono Friends Season 2.
Yeah, well, most things are.
I saw footage from it, and
Uh,
it looks really weird. They're trying to keep like the original style, but clearly
yeah.
they're using better equipment and better like animation software. So
Mhm.
the frames are just fucking weird. There's times where it's almost like 60 FPS, and then times where it's like 60 FPS trying to emulate 20. It's like
Oh.
it looks so janky and weird and awkward, and I
Yeah.
hate it so much.
Ugh.
Like, the worst thing about Komodo Friends Season 2 is that it doesn't feel like they're trying to do anything new. It feels like they're trying
Mhm.
to prove that Totsuki didn't make Kimono Friends or wasn't as big a part as he was by just redoing the exact same thing as Season 1, but slightly
Mhm.
different, so they can go, look, we did it just as well without Totsuki. But it's like, just do something different. Just do an actual Season 2. Don't do a reboot that's just Season 1 again, but with one extra character. Or like,
Mhm.
I don't fucking know what they're doing. Fuck
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We got Kamuri Kusa, so.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Should we just get into that now? Mix up the show format and go into what we've been
Yeah,
watching
let's
first. Yeah.
may as
Sure.
well go to Kamuri Kusa right now because we both watched it.
Yeah.
It's one of two shows I watched this week, so.
Yeah.
Uh, I like the world and premise,
Yeah.
and almost all the main characters.
Yeah.
Also has a 5.55 right now, and the majority of that low score is 100% by what the fuck's his name? The dude, the super bland dude.
I don't
I
know.
don't even
I have
think
no
they've
idea.
given him a name.
The character? I have no idea.
God,
I don't think they did give him a name, but I don't know. It's
I
been a
don't
few
think
days.
so.
Hmm.
It's an isekai.
It
Why?
might be. Yeah.
I hope they get rid of him at the end of the episode. Like, it would be neat if it was like different people pulled in each episode from different universes or something,
Yeah.
and then
That could be
maybe
cool.
maybe have them try to follow other people in Universe Hop. But this main dude so far is just the most bland thing. Like, he's not even a bland self-insert. He's a bland nobody insert. Like, he's just
Hmm.
he's the epitome of of like a yes man who agrees with you and is just like the perfect person at all times, but also really dumb and dull and not right. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like he just shows up and has amnesia, and so there's like literally nothing else to that character because he doesn't even know anything, and so there's like the maximum blandness, and just like why is he even there? And
he's
like,
not even properly scared though. He's like, oh no, did I ruin your
yeah,
water? Like, what the fuck are you think? Oh my god.
yeah,
I think the problem is he's a male character. Kimono Friends was
mm,
great. There were no dudes.
yeah,
That's the secret right there. Tatsuki, just drop every male character.
Yeah.
Just start making Yuri right now. Some
Oh,
action-packed Yuri,
yes.
because there's not enough action Yuri stuff.
Yeah.
I've
That'd be
I've
good.
actually been complaining about that recently
Yeah.
on Twitter. People have
Mm.
seen. I've been getting into like more Western graphic novels because I find you can find it's like diversity in manga and anime seems to be, well, you have to stick to the genres they're like relegated to. There's very little outside. There's some, but
Hmm.
very little. And then like graphic novels, it's like I want some like Norse fuck the gods adventure with lesbians. There's heathen. I want like some weird time travel sci-fi thing with, I know at least there's some gay guys in it. I'm not sure about others, but there's paper girls. It's like people just exist in these
Hmm.
other stories, and it's not all about their identity at all times, and that's really neat and cool. And it's like I need more manga and anime like that.
Yeah.
Just give me an anime where it's just like casual, like, oh yeah, these two badass people, main characters that beat shit out of people. Yeah, they gay. It's fine. It's cool. Like, just give me some stuff like that. Which
Yeah.
I think My Hero Academia has some trans characters. They're not the best representation, but there's some. And it's kind of
Yeah.
vague. But like My Hero actually is trying, so it's like props to that. They're doing better than
Hmm.
like every other shonen out there where it's three dudes, one girl, and all the dudes have super homoerotic subtext, but then they all end up without any build up with a different girl at the end, time lapse, every single time. Bleach, Naruto, it keeps happening.
Yeah. God. Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. That was something I thought about last year when I read Bloody Roses. Like, oh yeah, more things where like the main plot isn't about relationships, and it's just like, oh, these characters are queer, and that's just the way they are. Like, I so want more stuff like that, and I think we'll get stuff like that in anime and manga in time. But like, I don't know. There's not a lot of representation in general right now, and so I think it'll take a while, but I'm sure it'll get there. You know.
I feel like some of it is probably on the publisher's end. They don't want to take the risk with it. They know, like, oh, well, just make a Yuri, just sell the Yuri, just make a shonen. Like, why mix genres? They seem to, like, not like to
Hmm.
mix genres too much,
Yeah.
which is kind of frustrating. But there are some cool stuff. There's, I forget the name of it, but there's a manga I came across that was, like, a weird, messed up retelling of, a Little Red Riding Hood, where Little Red was a werewolf, and there's a girl who's basically in love with her, but
Hmm.
finds her, and something happens. She turns into a vampire, and the werewolf who's been eating girls in the village is like, shit, I wanted to eat you. Now I can't because you're a vampire. So she's like, well, being a vampire sucks. I'm gonna cure myself so you can eat me. Like, and it's like kind of a mix of fantasy action, narcotics police.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but it's neat. It's different, right? It's like
Yeah.
stuff like Land of the Lustrous, so all gender neutral, but it's this cool fantasy series. Like it's
Yeah.
representation in something that's not Yuri or Yaoi or Shonen Ai or Shonen.
Yeah. It's cool.
I forgot what the other one besides Shonen Ai was. Shoujo Ai.
Shoujo eye?
It's
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Blanked on it. And yeah, stuff like Murcielago, where it's like
Mm.
just a bunch of crazy serial killers, and the main one happens to be a raging lesbian. Like
Hmm.
stuff like that. That's different is neat, and we need more of. And I really want a Murcielago anime adaptation.
Oh, I don't think that'll happen.
Oh my god, can you? I can't. I could not imagine the amount of backlash it would get.
Oh yeah,
It'd be like,
they would have to do that as like a straight DVD show. It would not be
no, I
broadcast
mean,
anywhere.
they could probably broadcast it. They broadcast Goblin Slayer episode 1.
Yeah, true.
It's just there's parts that are probably close to as bad as Goblin Slayer episode 1, so
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's more community backlash I'm expecting, but
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it be sometimes. At least Murcielago, they would probably warn you.
Mm,
You would hope.
hopefully.
At least the manga community I've seen that's all been talking about have been giving warnings, unlike with Goblin Slayer, where the community was just like, it's great, watch it, just watch it, and didn't warn anyone at all. Because it's
Yeah.
partly up to the community as well to do that to some degree.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So what was the other show you said you've been watching this week?
Oh, yes, my other show.
Yeah.
th- Actually, just today at work was awful, so I came home and I watched the first episode of Aggressive Retsuko. I'm finally watching it.
Nice.
It it feels me deep in my soul. I understand it. This show was made for me.
Yeah. It's the Amigara fault of anime.
Basically, for literally every office worker.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's good. Need to watch more. That's about it.
Yeah. Cool.
And then,
Mm.
did I read manga this week? No. But I read a
Yeah.
bunch of graphic novels, like Gotham
All
Academy.
right.
That's not really
All
anime.
right.
Um,
What?
Tales of Vesperia HD remake came out, so I've actually played like a couple hours of that. I played
Yeah.
a lot of that. I love that game so much. It's so fun.
I hear it's good.
It's very good. It's one of my favorite video games of all time.
Oh wow.
I have like since it came out a decade ago, it's stayed in my top 3 the entire time.
Yeah.
And I get to re-enjoy it all over again with all of the bonus director's cut content that never came out in English before. It only took a decade. It only took a
Oh, my.
decade, and I love it so much. I fucking love that game. It's so good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And I guess I saw Spider-Verse last night, but that's again not really anime.
Well, that's
It
okay.
was fantastic though. We talk about more
Yeah.
than anime now.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, it was really good. It made me want to get into the Miles Morales. We were talking about last night. You know,
Mhm.
the other person who your friend,
Oh, no, I
friend,
just follow them
your
on Twitter.
acquaintance,
No.
your acquaintance,
That's, yeah, person I follow.
your
Acquaintance would be a bit much.
acquaintance.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at their list because I was interested in getting into Miles Morales stuff. They were saying like just get into the newest line because that seems to be the best and the writer's really good for that, so I might do that. And then I
Yeah.
want to get into the Spider-Gwen stuff.
Hmm.
I so this morning I saw some spoiler stuff. And I'm like, well, that's not really spoiler stuff. They hinted at it in the Spider-Verse movie, but in some comic line, she and Miles date or kiss or something. I don't know. But like when I saw her design for the very first time, I'm like, that's peak lesbian aesthetic. And they're like, yeah, no, she's dating Miles. She's into Miles. And I'm like, that's peak bi girl aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me Spider Gwen is not somehow queer, but like sure, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I mean, her and Miles are okay. They got some good chemistry,
Yeah.
and
That's good.
it made me come to a horrifying realization. There's
Yeah.
still not a lot of interracial couples in big movies like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's still like that still doesn't exist, which is crazy to think about. Like, I mean, it's partly the
Yeah.
fact that there's not many people of color in leading roles in movies. It's all white
Yeah.
people, so it's all white couples. But still, it's crazy to think that this thing that shouldn't, or in theory hasn't been an issue for like 20 years or so is like, no, it's still an issue. It's
Yeah.
still an issue. It's like,
Oh, it's such a bummer.
so I mean that's cool representation because I think that's only in the comics, but there's going to be the Spider-Gwen movie, so it might happen in that, which if it does, like that's at least cool
Yeah.
representation there because there's not enough of that.
Yeah.
But
That'd be good.
I'm also okay if Spider-Gwen gets a girlfriend.
Yeah. That'd be good too.
And I am dropping all my frames again. Why can't I stream anymore? It's only
it's cursed.
Shenanimegans I drop frames too. I streamed Powerpuff Girls like 2 weeks ago and everything was fine. I streamed for
Yeah.
like 3 hours. I streamed Shenanimegans for like 15 minutes, and there goes all the frames.
Ugh, we're cursed.
Someone's DDoSing us. They don't want
Yeah.
us to tell the truth.
Yeah. The
They're
truth that anime
afraid
is
of the
good.
truth.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so yeah.
So what
Uh,
about
it's
you?
just so yeah, I've watched kind of a lot of stuff this week.
Ooh,
This was a lot more of a new season stuff came out.
alright.
So first off, there was Promise Neverland. First episode of that came out.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that about every single thing you say, because that's
Yeah,
all I
pretty
ever
much.
say every week.
Yeah. So have you read the manga? That's
I've
right.
read the first volume, which I think is
Okay.
just the first episode. Or
Okay.
I think the first episode ends at a major cliffhanger, major plot point in the first volume. I think the first volume actually goes a few chapters past.
Hmm.
But it has
Yeah,
the
'cause
big reveal, right?
yeah, when they are like, oh, we need to take the teddy bear to the teddy bear to the little girl, and they find that truck and they see the people and everything. Yeah,
Did
it's
they
really
show the
nice stuff.
corpse?
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, it's brutal. Like, it tricks you. It's
Yeah.
like, it's such a good reveal, though. It's like, Jesus
Mm.
Christ, what did I get myself into? But yeah,
Yeah.
it gets really good because it's like, it'll start probably by next episode. It starts getting into a lot of like mind game stuff, which is really neat.
Hmm.
It's a very different shonen and very, very
Yeah.
dark. And I need to watch the anime. But it's so
Yeah.
dark and dark stuff.
Yeah. Like I knew it was gonna be dark going in, just because I've heard you talk about it before, but like I wasn't prepared for when they actually showed the girl's body. It was like they really lingered on it for a while, and it's really like not super grotesque, but it's also like just uncomfortable to look at. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're really lingering on this. It's
Yeah.
like an uncomfortable shot. But I guess that's kind of the point, I guess. But oof.
With the manga, you can at least you can look at it as long as you want. That's the one upside with manga is it's like you set your own pace.
Yeah.
I need to
But
read
yeah.
volume 2 still. I have it on my shelf.
Nice. So yeah, there was that, and then I also watched both of the plane shows. I watched Girly Air Force, which seems terrible.
All right.
Yeah,
Is
'cause,
it better or worse than sky fishing?
ooh. Oh, that's tough. I don't know. They're both pretty bad. But you know how in all the previews for Girly Air Force it just shows the girls in the jets? Like they don't show the actual main character who is just some dude. And like, oh, this is actually a harem. This is,
No.
yeah.
Why? No,
Yeah,
County
so-
K. Why would you bait us like that?
I know. It's the worst.
Why is
So,
the
yeah,
anime like this?
Yeah.
They keep gay baiting me.
Mm. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother watch any more of that. That first episode is so bad.
Thanks for.
It's
I'm
just,
taking off my plan to watch right now.
yeah, don't waste your time with that. The other plane show though.
I'll just go back and watch.
Magnificent. Yeah.
I'll just go back and watch sky fishing instead.
Oh god, don't do that either. No, don't do that.
But,
No,
but
if you-
it's good political filler. If I watch that, I can
What?
hold conversations about feminism in Japan.
What?
Sky fishing? Was
I
that was like the whole first episode was just like
Oh,
really over
right.
the top. Remember?
yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure if you knew something about the series that I didn't know.
Oh
If
no
you'd
no
like-
no no! Fuck
Okay.
that. I was being facetious.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But the other plane show there this week, the Magnificent Kotobuki, now that was a good show. It's really really good. It's a very strong start. It's so good. I like so much about it because like it just the focus is on all the women, which is nice because all the dudes that show up are all kind of dumbasses, and the women call them out on them being dumbasses all the time, which is great. Like I was kind of concerned about this show. They're like, oh, maybe they're gonna be like a military force, and would be listening to that. But like, no, they're just freelancers working to defend some blimps or whatever. And it's like this show is made by people who really care about planes, because there's like a minute-long startup sequence where there's just a girl in a cockpit like flipping switches and turning dials and like checking gauges and doing all of the pre-flight procedure that you would do in an actual old plane. It's like you can tell this is that they didn't just like pick planes as like an aesthetic. It's they actually care about the planes, and then also just have cute girls in it in addition to that. But yeah, it's a really cool show. It has a strong start. And it's like all CG, and it actually doesn't look that bad. It's like not as good as Land of the Lustrous was, but it's still pretty good.
I hate to say it, but I actually
Yeah.
think they did just pick planes for aesthetic.
Mm.
Because, again, this is by the creators of Shirobako, which
Mm-hmm.
is about inside the anime industry. And
Yeah.
people have said is actually, despite being over the top in anime, very truthful and does have a lot of points where they go really in depth in how the industry works.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the shows in it they made was a show about girls flying planes. And I
Yeah.
think just since that time, some of the core staff got obsessed with it,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. So it might have started as an aesthetic thing, and then just being like, when they were doing it for Shiobako, being like, yo, planes are actually super dope. I fucking love planes. So they might actually love planes, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that's where it came from.
Yeah. Cause yeah, if it was just like an aesthetic choice, then they put in way more work than they needed to like show the details in these planes and everything. It's yeah. But yeah, that show was cool. You should watch the first episode of that. I think it's on High Dive, so you should watch that.
I do need to watch it, because I love Shiobako, and this is by
Mm-hmm.
the same team, so I have to assume it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's like the same core team, like director and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think it might be a
Cool.
different studio. Studios,
Oh.
WoW World and Gemba. Yeah, those are different studios.
Huh.
Or WoW World and Gemba.
That's a good name though. Wow World. I like
Oh
it.
god, they did Hametsu no Mars. No!
What? I don't know what that is.
One of the worst animes ever. It has a 2.33.
Ooh.
It's almost
Yikes.
impossible to find online to actually watch because no one will even bother uploading it. I've been trying to
Great.
find it. Yeah, they did
Of
some
course
other
you would.
stuff that looks decent. It's like a
Mhm.
20-minute OVA, so
Oh, okay.
it's not super suffering. But yeah, look, they did some other stuff like Anime Gatteries, which was super meta and actually really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be good. And
Yeah.
Gemba's the 3D studio. The only other thing they've worked on is Berserk. So I'm
Mm.
scared. This is the Berserk 3D CG team. Wait a
Mm.
second. Wait a second.
Yeah, that show don't look that bad. So.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the 3D CG that destroyed Berserk. Maybe it was Millipensi, the other studio on that, which
Maybe.
had only done like TQ before,
Yeah.
and the director possibly. Maybe it was their fault and not
Mm.
Gemba. We'll find out.
Yeah. We'll find out.
I can't
Tune
wait.
in next week.
God, what if they have bears?
Oh,
What
I
if they
can't
have
wait.
bears?
Bears flying planes. I'd love it no matter what. Doesn't matter how good or bad the bears look.
So the reason Crunchyroll dropped the best 3D CG award was because they were attacked by bears.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's
so
it.
sad.
Yeah. So, a couple other shows to go through. I watched the third episode of Boogie Pop and others, and it's still weird, and I still don't really understand it. And it took like halfway through this episode to realize it was a flashback, and it's just really confusing. And I feel like this is the kind of show that you want to watch it all over a very short period of time, because this isn't going to make sense to me if I don't. So I
mean,
might.
It might
Put it
be a
on hold
really
till
good
it's out.
book club show because it's like each episode you go, "What the fuck just happened?" and then theorize, right?
Mm,
So it might be good,
maybe.
but it's 18 episodes, which is just awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, is it's 18 episodes, which like I've never heard of a show being 18 before. It's always more or less than that. That's weird.
It sounds like it's basically a 90s OVA at this point when you start going 18
Yeah.
episodes. Maybe they'll have
Yeah.
50-minute episodes. Maybe they'll kill off one of the main female characters in the second last episode for no reason and then have all the guys that abuse the main female character
Ugh.
make her save them.
Oh god.
I'm still
Ugh,
salty
that's
about that. I'm still so salty about that.
It's understandable.
Oh.
Mm. So yeah, I might not watch more of that, but yeah. Then there was Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. First episode of that came out, and I really liked it for some reason, but I have a hard time explaining why. It's like I don't know. I guess there's just been a lot of Magical Girl shows that try and do the like really like edgy, hardcore, dark stuff. And this show is totally doing that, but also it feels a bit more earned. Because like last year there was like Magical Girl Site, which was just gruesome and awful. But this
It
is like,
has a
oh no,
trans girl
there's
though. Magical
Site
Girl Site
does?
has a trans girl.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch
She's
past the
some
first episode.
blonde-haired girl.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Well,
So that's the only
I-
reason that like that show. It's like the only thing
Yeah.
I'll give it. And I don't think she's dead. I think in canon, even in the manga up till now, she's still alive. I think. So they don't bury their case.
I would not trust them with a trans character at all. Honestly, with how that first like episode or two I saw was, I would not trust them one bit.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard the opening is intended to be shock value, and then after that it turns into a character drama, which who knows? Honestly, with anime,
yeah,
it might not be worth it. But at least,
probably not.
even if they do it kind of wrong, at least they tried to add representation on like 50 other shows.
Yeah. Yeah, so Spec Ops Asuka, I feel like it does that dark stuff that a lot of shows do, but also it really earns it because they've already gotten some really good characterization with the main girl Asuka so far. And I still just really like the whole, like, the kind of beginning pitch of this, of like, the Magical Girls already got together and saved the world, and they've, like, broken up, and Asuka is, like, retired and is no longer a Magical Girl anymore. And like this is about her coming out of retirement because the evil stuff has come back again. And that's just such a cool premise to me. A cool way to start it. I like that a lot.
How's the animation?
It's been pretty good. Like not notable, I don't think. Like there's nothing super impressive about this episode, but it was not atrocious.
I heard someone say it looked like an early 2000s anime upscaled, but also like in higher def and looked really good. Like it looked like a high def remake of a 2000s anime in its style, and that to me sounds super cool because I'm like hella nostalgic for that kind of stuff.
That might be part of the reason I like it then. I don't know. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that might be true.
I'm gonna play a bit of this PV because I want to see that. Oh god, it does. Wait, this does totally look like 2000s anime with like the really simple shading and stuff. Oh my god, I love it. I need to watch this.
Yeah. It is cool.
More of that before I get flagged.
Yeah, it's just like big content warning for that show though, because it is a lot of like graphic violence and gore, and there's probably going to be torture scenes soon. So yeah, it's intense. Yeah, it's one of those shows.
If I could make it to Made in Abyss, maybe.
I don't know. Made in Abyss is such a different thing.
I'm gonna have a breakdown during the movie.
Oh.
I think you will too. I think everyone will. Just wait for it. Just fucking wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So yeah, one more new show I watched was the new episode of Dororo was out. That show is still really weird. It's such a weird thing. I thought it was going to be a lot more historical focused, like real world, but it's super fantasy with all kinds of demons and stuff in it. I didn't really know that. But yeah, it's a really cool show. And it's kind of gotten into what this premise, or not the like what do you expect each episode to be now. It was like they roll into a village and they're like, oh, there's a demon here, you need to kill it, and then they kill the demon. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what the show's gonna be. I'm okay with that. It's very cool. And it's also just kind of cool having this main character who can't communicate at all, because he can't hear or see or speak, and so it's this weird thing like they still manage to find ways to communicate, but or like they're not traditionally. It's pretty cool.
And how does he kill them?
Well, he can see their souls.
Oh, okay.
So he sees You can see everything. So it's like a good person has a white soul, a bad person is red, and plants are green, I guess, because plants have souls.
Neat.
So, yeah, you can see blobs of color as things. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know. There's just been some other stuff I caught up on. I caught up on like Surune, the good archery boys. They have one more episode left, and they make me sad, but like a good kind of sad. So I'm really into it. I really like that show a whole lot. Oh, I love it so much. And something like, I don't know if this is maybe just a thing sports anime do that I'm just not aware of, but like, I was kind of expecting the coach character to be just kind of there to like offer advice and be an adult, but he's actually is like going through his own stuff and was having a lot of trouble in some of the episodes that I watched. And it's just really nice that like, oh, the coach is this relevant character as well, beyond just being a teacher, you know? It was nice.
KyoAni stuff.
Yeah.
This is free, but with bows and arrows.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me want to watch Free, but I don't know.
Oh no, no, it's probably nothing like Free. Free is very, very gay baity. That's
Yeah.
KyoAni is really good at yuri baiting and gay baiting. That's all it does.
Um,
I'm still pissed at the KBK euphonium. I'll never be happy.
Yeah. This show doesn't have very much of that. Like, there's kind of two main boys who I'm hoping will kiss, but I don't think they will. But
it's just a bunch of good boys. Just a bunch of good boys.
Yeah.
You can make the fanfics yourself. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
It's an empty slate. That's always good.
Yeah.
You can do what you want.
If I were to write fanfic for this, it would probably be for the girls, though, because there's actually 3 girls on the team, but they're pretty minor characters. No. But like the little bits they get are so good. I really like them. So yeah. And then the other show I caught up on was Run with the Wind. I was just catching up on before this, which I haven't watched that show in like a month. But it's still good. The Good Running Boys. They're so good.
Some more good boys. There's just so many good
boys.
boys.
There's so many good boys. It's great. I'm into it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have a lot to say about that show. It's just really good. I like it. And when I first started watching an episode today, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I have it in me to watch like 12 more episodes of this. But no, I'm into it again. I'm back on board. I'm into it. So get ready to hear about that for the next 3 months.
Alright.
Yeah, and then the last anime I watched was I watched all of Fully Cooley Alternative to finish off the trilogy.
Is that out now? Alternative?
Yeah, so it came out a while ago, and I just never got around to seeing it. But yeah, it's available on the Adult Swim site, in America at least. I have no idea about Canada or anywhere else. And I think this was better than Progressive was, I think. Because a lot of this show, a lot of the season was just like a high school drama, but kind of wacky. And then like a robot would show up and Haruka would hit it with a guitar, and then it would go back to high school stuff, which was really weird. But I was into that, so. I don't know, it was a lot more fun than Progressive was. Progressive felt like it was trying really, really hard to be an imitation of the original Fully Cooley. Whereas this is like, it feels much more inspired by Fully Cooley without just trying to mimic it. The one problem I have with it though is that the ending is super vague and kind of leaves it open for a sequel, like potentially could. Which I don't want them to make another Fully Cooley thing ever again. So
we need,
that's a little bit of a bummer.
We need Fully Cooley regressive, and what's the alternative?
I don't know. Primary, I guess. I don't know.
Fully Cooley status quo.
Yeah, that works. Yeah,
So, do you think these sequels were necessary? Do you think they added anything to the original show?
No, not really.
Okay. I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Alternative was, like, nice, but it's not, like, it doesn't, I don't feel like Fully Cooley is better with Alternative existing. Progressive is, like, definitely the worst of the 3, but Alternative is at least fine on its own. But yeah, it's like you could have called this something else and replaced Haruko with a different character and just not called it Fooly Cooly, and it would have been like just a like spiritual successor to that show, and that would have been fine.
Wait, do any of these parts even have the same characters as the originals outside of Haruka?
I so there maybe there's a dude who might be the character from the original show, but I don't know for sure.
So the other two parts are just Haruka fucking with other people? Wait.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, she's just
Why?
well, so there's the evil corporation, medical mechanica, and they're aliens who are trying to fly the Earth, and Haruko is another alien who is trying to stop them for some reason. And yeah, so she just occasionally shows up on Earth when the robots are there to stop the robots from ruining Earth. Yeah, that's all. There's everything I know about the Fooly Cooly lore.
That's so edgy. They just bring back Haruka and no one else, and they're like, it's a sequel! It's just Haruka again! Wacky! That feels like the ultimate cash grab remake. It's like if they remade Invader Zim, but it's just Grr.
Yeah.
It's just Grr, that's all it is.
Yeah. I will say they do a pretty good job of like justifying it in the lore of like it kind of makes sense that Haruko would be the only one to show up because it's supposed to be like in different time periods, maybe even different areas. So it kind of makes sense that Haruko is the only one, but also, yeah,
Also,
it's obviously she's just there because of fan service because everyone loves her.
you could just do the plot for these two seasons, as you said, with someone other than Haruka, and it just not call it Fooly Cooly, and they would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you get more money by calling it Fooly Cooly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was one other guy that might have been in more than just alternative, but I don't know. And the character was just incomplete on now, so I don't know how to look it up. But yeah, alternative was okay. And then I did a little bit of reading this week as well. So I read some good Yuri with Hana ni Arashi.
Ah, yes.
I think you had mentioned that before.
Yes. And it's finally actually on Mal, because for a while I could only find the shoujo one. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Hana ni Arashi is very good.
Yeah, it is. It's so cute. I like it a lot. I hope it gets localized, brought over here. That'd be nice.
That'd be very nice. I was a little let down by the various announcements lately. There wasn't too much cool stuff.
Yeah.
Seven Seas announcing like 3 different versions of Arifuka was so depressing.
Oh,
It's like,
God. Yeah. God, yeah. Speaking of which, yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into the 7 season announcements, because I don't have anything else that I watched this week.
Yeah. Ruby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did watch Ruby.
We both forgot to mention Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this episode was so good.
Yeah.
Season's episode was so good. But why is it a cliffhanger? It's a literal cliffhanger, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for next week.
Yeah. I really liked all the Blake Yang stuff in this episode. I thought the giant robot stuff was kind of whatever, but I really liked the Blake Yang stuff.
There's some really fun stuff in the robot. I feel like I was really happy that they gave Ren a larger moment to shine, because he's always overlooked. So that was nice.
Yeah. I think it's more just like, I think they had good moments throughout that section, but it was like, just conceptually of having these people fight this giant robot, I think is kind of not great.
It was advertising for Genlock, though.
Was it really? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know, maybe. That thing's model looks like a prototype to one of the Genlock robots in their preview. I'm like, this looks like just a not finished version of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What if Ruby is actually a Genlock sequel? It's just like hundreds of years apart.
Yeah. Well, I guess it'd have to be a prequel.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. I was thinking it could be sequel because, pre-universe, if it's all mechas, and that's like, wait, we already know the history of Remnant. We got that this season.
Yeah.
Before this season, it could have been a prequel. Now it can only be a sequel.
Yeah. So yeah, Ruby was good.
Yeah. So
That's a good show.
yeah, moving on then.
Yeah, moving on. Got a lot of announcements this week.
Yeah.
I think we can go through
Evangelion.
most of these pretty quickly. Yeah.
Evangelion.
Even going.
The
I didn't
light
even know
novel's
that they
based
had.
on the alternate ending.
Yeah, that's so weird. They made this alternate ending.
So
It's
much.
odd.
There's so much Evangelion stuff suddenly being licensed again. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's neat, but it's really weird that it took till now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that is weird.
we got the wise beast of Wizarding Wisdoms, which
Uh,
I didn't realize was Boys Love. I just knew it was by the creator of what's
Girl
it
from
called?
the other side.
Yeah. But it's all Monster
Yeah,
Boys.
I love the cover art. It's so cute. They're all so adorable. I love them. I
Monster
love them
Boy
so much.
BL.
Oh, I see the back cover here. There's like a peacock boy
Yeah.
and like a there's a bear. Oh,
I'm
it's so
living for
cute.
this little image of the wolf with the little
Oh,
rabbit.
yeah.
Is that a
They're
goat?
so
Is that
adorable.
that's a goat? That's a goat.
It's
The
a
wolf
goat,
and the
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Bless
there's like a
up.
unicorn as well. Oh,
Shit, I am definitely gonna be buying that.
oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's $17 a book. Ugh.
Oh, but it's so worth it. Oh, look at all those cuties. They're
That's
so
so
cute.
expensive. And Seven
Yeah.
Seas is the cheaper ones. California Hotel comes out at the end of the month. I just noticed that on their website.
Yeah.
Huh. I remember
Yeah.
to pick that up.
Mm.
Alright, and then after that we
Yeah,
got the Brave Tuber,
Tuber.
which is
Yeah.
at least unique and interesting for an isekai.
I don't think it's an isekai, is it? I read the
thought it
description and it doesn't sound
How
like
does
one.
he YouTube if he doesn't have a phone when he's in a fantasy world, right?
Uh,
Or is it
Is-
just like a video game?
No,
Is he a live
it's-
streamer?
no, it's just a fantasy world that has the internet, I think.
Huh.
This is why is Daragor your typical fantasy world, but it has the internet. That's weird.
Interesting. It seems like a comedy gag one that can either be really good or really bad, and we won't know until it comes out.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what style of YouTuber they're trying to be, because a lot of YouTubers are terrible.
They might be trying out different ones and all of them sucking. I don't know. This just came so far of left circle for me. I'd never even heard of this, and usually I've heard of everything that gets licensed at least
Yeah.
once before. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah. And the next one's kind of weird too. It's a kid-friendly manga about
Yeah.
a kid traveling around the demon's world. Nicola.
Hmm.
Interesting. I like the art style. It looks neat.
Yeah, it's a pretty art style.
Apparently it's similar
Hmm.
to the Moomins in Hilda. I might pick this up because it looks rather charming.
I don't trust any Seven Seas recommendations. I'm like, oh, it's like this and this thing, because of these seem to do very
I just like the art.
basic comparisons.
I
Yeah.
just like the art. The thing that worries
Yeah.
me a bit is kid-friendly.
Yeah, yeah, it might be a little simple.
Yeah, because
or,
I
like,
know...
a little.
But it might not be, because the Little Witch manga that's coming out through Yen Press is who their new kids line. And
Mhm.
it's kind of kiddie because it's Little Witch, but it's not like... It's not like kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfectly readable. So, I
Mhm.
don't know.
Hmm.
Next up we got Arifuda, Part 1.
Yeah.
Um,
3 different Arifudas.
Yeah, this is light novels in print, so I think this is the prequel, I think?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Arifuda from Commonplace to World's Strongest Zero light novel. So this, I believe, was translated, but is only published digitally, and they're just announcing paperback editions.
Oh, okay.
So, that's that
Okay.
one. And then we have
Yeah.
Yaoi, of Mice and Men.
Yeah. The cornered
cornered
streams of cheese.
I like how
That's
it
a
just
good
said
name.
Mice and Men at first. I'm like, is this like
Yeah.
a yaoi interpretation of Mice and Men?
Oh, that'd be so good.
Just go into the classroom. We're doing Mice and Men today. It's like, I brought mine.
Yeah, and they also got the sequel, The Carp on the Chopping Block Jumps Twice, which is another really good name. I just like these names; those are good.
But this is all about cheating and stuff.
Um,
Cheating in affairs
um,
and coerced into the thing. Yeah, I'm a little. It's got those regular yaoi problems where it's like pretty
oh,
rapey. It really
oh
is.
God, that's why I don't get into a lot of boys love stuff, is it so easily goes to be so creepy. Ugh.
Yeah, I remember I was like, what's the one? Nakamura-kun. It's like it avoids all that. It's not bad. It's like there's tentacles, there's some weird not like there's still issues with it. Like it still had the same
Mhm.
problems. And yeah, that's one of the problems I find. Like I was complaining about representation in manga and anime earlier, how it sticks to the same sort of genres.
Mhm.
Yaoi, it's like if you want to sell yaoi, you make it rapey, and it's like that's creepy. No, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
then read Bara, and it's like, okay, Bara, and Bara is just very different, but it's slightly better. But it's like it's hard to find stuff that's just like kind of everyday, kind of like how there's when there's Yuri, there's at least more everyday stuff where it's like it's a slice of life, or it's a comedy, or there's some stuff where it's like it's a drama, but yeah, he's pretty much all yeah, it's borderline just rape. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's all.
oh,
Ugh.
there's a few good ones with gay male characters though. Shimanami Tasogare, which is supposed to be coming out in English this
Oh
year.
yeah. Yeah, that's
That
right.
one has really good representations. I'd highly recommend that. That's my recommendation for anyone who wants some boys love.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there's a
Mm.
tiny bit of side boys love in Nameless Asterism as well, but it's not a focus.
Yeah.
Oh, there was actually another manga I did read this week, but I forgot. There was a new chapter translated.
Oh.
Let me remember its name real fast.
Mhm.
If I remember its
Well,
name,
you
I'm gonna
find that.
search it back up.
I can just say there were two other Arafuda mangas licensed, and we
Yeah,
probably
there
don't
is.
care about those.
Alright,
So we can skip past those.
so
Yeah.
the one I was thinking of was Fukakai na Boku no Subete O, which I don't think is on Mal yet, but it starts off like it's a girly boy cafe, which is clearly them not wanting to say trap cafe to start with.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
it's actually really good because it starts to get into like, oh, this new person might be interested in working here. It's like, well, I'm actually non-binary. I don't want to call myself a girly boy. And they're like, oh shit. Well, I guess we can change that. And one of the other staff is like, wait, we can just do that? Fuck, I'm a trans girl. Fuck this. Like, and like the latest chapter had like the main guy in it, like talking to um his older sibling who runs the cafe, and he's like, he has him talking. He ends it like, "Oh, thanks, bro," and then he stops and he's like, "Or should I call you sis?" And the sibling gets all super excited. It's like, "Oh my
Oh.
god!" And it's actually surprisingly wholesome. Like it's good.
Oh.
There's a bit of drama and stuff in it, and a bit of stuff where it's like, oof, but it's like very realistic to trying to deal with some of those issues because of people's ideas and fetishization around it.
Mhm.
So it's like it's surprisingly very good and wholesome, and I'd
Cool.
recommend that one too. But it's not in English and probably won't be anytime soon.
Yeah.
It also gets tagged with yaoi a lot because it's actually based off of one-shot dojin by the creator of one of the characters at the cafe. So their
Mhm.
backstory is actually in dojins they wrote, and it's somewhat pornographic, and it's like him and his boyfriend, and he specifically works at this cafe, and he specifically still identifies as male but just cross-dresses because he and his boyfriend like it.
Mhm.
So there's like
Okay.
people from every like walk of life kind of
Yeah.
here. You get a mix of
Hmm.
different perspectives, and it's I'd say it's pretty
Mhm.
good.
Cool.
That's
I'll
my
have to
other
check that out.
recommendation. Yeah, there's 8 chapters translated right now.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, back to the Seven Stays things because they announced like a dozen things this week.
Yeah, and 3 of them were Arifuda because they
Yeah.
they announced the Arifuda Zero, uh,
Mhm.
which I think is the manga version of the light novel we mentioned earlier, and then
Mhm.
Arifuda I Love Isekai manga.
Yeah.
Why is it
It's such
called
a
Arifuda
terrible
I
name.
Love Isekai? No one loves Isekai. It's dead, except for the slime one. Apparently, people love that one, but let it die.
Yeah. Oh, apparently that's a 4 coma. Huh.
In Arifuda I Love Isekai, Hajime and the beautiful women around him.
Oh, God.
Full stop. No, don't care about it. Get that. I don't need 3 different versions of the same harem.
Yeah.
Get
Oh,
out of
God.
here.
I
And
can't wait till the isekai craze is over. Oh,
but then we
can't
just
wait.
go back to other harems. Like that's the biggest problem is that isekai just right now is like the current model for your harem. Like there's some
Mm-hmm.
isekai stuff that's neat, like being reincarnated as a spider that is a female main character. It's different. It's
Mm.
neat. And
Yeah.
then you have 20 harem ones. It's like why?
Yeah.
God.
Maybe the next big fad will be Yuri harems, and it'll be a
That'd be
bunch of
interesting.
it'll get a bunch of garbage Yuri.
I mean that was basically Merishin Meijin, but it didn't work out. I just
Yeah.
realized that was an isekai shit.
Oh, God.
Oh god. Anyways, next up we got Ghostly Things, which is a
Yeah.
super natural manga about living in a house of spirits, which those are always nice.
Yeah.
They're neat.
That sounds okay.
hmm
Yeah. I don't know.
it sounds very very decent. If you like spooky supernatural stuff, this is probably gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Is this okay? There's more than one volume because they say volume 1 will be released, so it doesn't say it's a single volume anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
Next up we have Become You, Kimi ni Nare, which is manga.
Yeah.
It is a drama about high school musicians by the creator of Orange, so it's probably gonna
Hmm.
be real depressing.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I read one of Ichigo Takano's other things that wasn't orange.
Dream
I forget
Itself?
what it was called. Yeah, that's it. I read one
I've heard
volume of
it's
that.
very good.
Oh, okay. I thought it was really boring.
Alright,
So
good to know.
yeah, it was just really like straight and very like average. It was just this girl with like 3 guys that they all just love this lady. It was I don't know, just not really a thing I was into. It seemed like it was a well done one of those, but I don't know.
This sounds like
I'd
it's
be
a
into
bit
it.
more like Orange
Yeah,
themes, like
yeah,
his bandmates quitting on him, his dreams are slipping away, and in desperation he strong arms someone to make a band with him. Actually sounds pretty decent.
yeah. That seems alright.
Yeah, it sounds decent. I like music stuff. Next up we have Reincarnated as a Sword, which like, come on. The girl in the
Yeah.
background's cute, but we don't need a 30-year-old dude who becomes a sword, trying to find a
Mhm.
beautiful woman to wield him,
How many
who
times do you
becomes a
think they make
cat girl.
jokes? How often do you think they make jokes about the cat girl gripping his hard shaft? So that has to happen, right?
They're gonna get
I'm sorry.
arrested for having an unsheathed sword in public.
Oh,
That's a Bloody
this is
Rose
terrible.
reference.
Moving on.
Yeah, anyways. How to Train Your
Anyway.
Devil,
Oh,
fantasy manga, about a hero tasked with reforming a tiny demon lord. Sounds like it's going to be, well, even this, it's just like, that's the skimpiest string bikini in tan I've ever seen.
mm-hmm.
It's a domineering demon baby who,
Yeah.
this sounds a little too, ooh, this could go incredibly wrong in so many ways. I don't even know how
Yeah.
to, oh, oh. It ends here with
Ugh.
"Oh Mama," and that's exactly what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
That's on the questionable. We got a good
Yeah.
one. We got Our
Yeah.
Wonderful Days, which I've actually read a bit of, and it's pretty
Oh,
nice.
cool.
It's pretty comfy. I haven't read too much of it, but
Yeah. I'm interested in it because it takes place in the countryside, whereas every other Yuri ever takes place in downtown Tokyo or wherever.
There's Tomodachi Login too, but no one's ever gonna translate that. No one will translate the second half of it because CXC Scans is dead. And I just
Yeah.
want to know what happens. What happens to my stupid fucking Chunibyo internet obsessed weeb who moves out to the country and falls in love with another girl, but then calls herself like, I am Ayame, the dark lesbian or whatever. It's like, it's fucking dumb.
That's silly.
Yeah, it's, oh. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
Someone license it. It's only 2 volumes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
anyways.
yeah.
Yeah, that
That
one's
was
nice
the end
and
of the
compact.
license. Yeah.
Is that?
So, yeah, there's like.
The next one's November.
Yeah.
This all follows. Anyways, so alright, next up.
Next up.
Speaking of the anime awards we mentioned earlier,
Yeah. The nominees are out now.
I voted.
Me too.
I voted for dumb stuff because there's a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what is this best protagonist vote? Like, Violet is the least
Weird.
interesting part of Violet Evergarden.
Really?
Gretzko, didn't that come out last year? Same with Kakegurui. They just came out this year on Netflix because Netflix held it for a year. So why the fuck are they like?
That's why it's because it
Kakegurui
debuted in America
I know,
in 2018.
It
dumb.
pisses me off though because Kakegurui should have been last year.
Yeah.
It felt like I won some stuff last year instead of, oh no, kind of My Hero won everything.
Yeah.
But like these 2 slots shouldn't be here because they should be last year and we should have stuff from this year here. Because there's interesting stuff that came out this year that could go here. Like, my mind just blanked. Wait. What was some stuff from this year? Like, Devilman, the guy from Devilman could be best protagonist.
Yeah.
What's his name from, well, like, any of the girls from, Place Farther Than the Universe.
Yeah. That's
The
the
main
thing,
guy from
protagonist
Planet
just-
With.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's better options.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely more relevant options. I don't know anything about either of these characters, but yeah, you could replace them with all kinds of things.
Megalobox shouldn't be in anything but Best Fight and Best OST, but they dropped Best OST.
Yeah.
Just because it's a 15-year-old remake. Like, come on. Best
Yeah.
protagonist, maybe 15 years ago. He's good and all, but like,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's still just stronger stuff.
Yeah. This category is just so weird. Like, I voted for Joe because I just didn't know what else to vote for because I haven't seen any of the other 5 shows.
Also, if if Netflix stuff counts this year, Children of the Whale should be on here for some shit. Like, come on. It has good shit.
Maybe.
I just feel like the people who voted for this didn't watch half of it. Like, that's the other issue.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, even like Annie-tubers and stuff, have been looking at the people who all did it, and they're like, yeah, a lot of these people have the same taste in anime and all watch the same thing and talk about the same thing in all of their channels and stuff. So of course it's all going to be the exact same shows if those are all the people you like choose to vote. Like, it's a lot of people who are. It's a very diverse crowd, which is good. They did get a diverse crowd, but I know a lot of people have said it's a crowd that's very into like the old school anime. Like, they came from they're like the hardcore old crowd that was like Cowboy Bebop's a classic, everyone has to watch it. People like that who have this very set ideal of what anime is, and a lot of newer people coming into the scene don't get a chance to vote because their opinions aren't as valid because they haven't been around as long, despite the fact that, you know, they're into different stuff, very different stuff, because they haven't been around as long and have a different idea of the way anime should go. So I don't know, it feels like it's the same problem the Oscars have, honestly. It's all just the old guard.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah.
Who would you vote here? I voted Yumeko just because fuck everyone else.
I voted Joe because he's the only one I know.
Yeah, I actually didn't even realize Megalobox was on there until after I voted. I like skimmed through them. I'm like, I haven't watched any of these because I hadn't seen a Gretzko yet. I'm like, I've seen Kakaguri, vote. Oh, Joe's here. I didn't want to vote for Joe anyways because I feel like he's not even the main protagonist
Yeah.
of the show. He's like the vehicle for everyone else to live their dreams out through him.
Kind of.
But
I don't
that's
know.
my own interpretation of it.
I think.
Best
Yeah.
antagonist, which has some better ones, but also the dude from Overlord.
Yeah.
I guess he's an antagonist, but he's also the protagonist of it because, well,
Yeah.
he's bad from the world's point of view.
Mhm.
It's his story, so he is the protagonist to
Oh.
his story, and he is the antagonist to everyone else. So it doesn't work saying he's the antagonist. Like,
Yeah.
bad. We got My Hero
Yeah.
Academia, but this makes sense because he's the big bad and it's his first appearance, so it makes sense he's on here.
Yeah.
Yuri, I don't. He wasn't even really an
Uh,
antagonist. He was like a dual
yeah.
protagonist. Like,
Yeah. It's like he was kind of the ultimate antagonist, but then he was like barely in a lot of the show. It's like I don't know. That's such a weird pull. I
yeah,
think.
there was
So
better.
you just had. Yeah.
There's better stuff. Why is Planet With not anymore? Rio from Devilman, Cryberry. Okay, I can see that. Akane. I want Akane to win. I voted for Akane.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
SSS Gridman needs to win something. Or
No.
Golden Kamuy. Tokushiro is also.
Yeah, Storm is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's who I voted for.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the anime yet, so.
Yeah. I don't expect Stormy to win. I think it's probably gonna be Shinjo's who's gonna win because everyone loves the cute girl.
All for one. It's My Hero, remember?
Mm,
My Hero is in
true.
this. My Hero will
Yeah,
win.
it'll be one of those two.
Best Boy. I don't even want to look at Best Boy. I'm still pissed that Onoda
That
was
this category
robbed
exists?
from
Oh.
Onoda from Yowamushi Pedal was robbed last year. He literally wore a shirt saying Best Boy and he didn't even get nominated. The people voting don't have taste in boys. Like, Deku's fucking here again. Deku lost to another character from his own show last season. Why the fuck is he back? He's not even the best Boku no Hero boy. Like,
Yeah, I feel like them putting him in this category is like
hero.
giving it to him.
Stop with the
It's like-
My Hero. He's not even the best boy in the category.
Yeah.
Kotaro, though.
Very good.
Honda-san. I voted for Honda-san.
Extreme. Hey, me
He's a
too.
good boy.
It's so good. I love him.
I don't feel like... Maybe I can see Joe here, but...
Yeah,
Joe and
Joe's alright.
Haida, I feel like... Even Sakura, sort of. I know people really like the characters in that show, but like... Where's... What's his name from Planet With? Right?
I don't know why you like Planet With so much. I mean, the show is fine, but I don't think it's like
There was-
award-worthy.
I mainly think it had a compelling protagonist, and he was a good boy. So I think he could have gone for either of those. But
I guess.
that's mine. And direction, which is the one thing they did have was like best director, which I actually think the direction in that show is very good. So
Yeah.
I'm still pissed there's no OST because he also had a good OST. But even that, like, even just as okay with Planet With, I still think he deserves it more than Haida, who came out last year.
Yeah.
Or again, Joe, no offense.
Yeah.
I'd rather the younger kid, I forget his name right now.
I don't remember.
I'd rather him over Joe in this even. Like, there's three characters here that it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's a
Who the
bunch
fuck's
of weird
voting?
picks.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm voting for Honda-san.
Yeah, I hope Honda-san wins. He isn't going to. It'll be My Hero character.
Yeah. We all know. There's no My Hero character in Best Girl, though.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Amazingly, yeah. Anzu
Yeah.
from Hinamatsuri, which, that's okay. Hinata from Place Further Than the Universe.
Oh, extremely good.
Hinata is any one of those girls I think would have been a good choice for it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone.
I do like Hinata the most because she's kind of the character I identify the most with, and I just love her a whole lot. And I don't think you've gotten to the episodes about her near the end. Oh, it's so good.
I'm still at the part where she bungles things up a bit. I'm in the main angst for the girl whose mom is dead, whose name I forget right now, and I really like her, and I would have liked her. We have Lily, who is absolute best girl. I voted for.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Asurpa, very good girl.
Extremely good. Yeah.
Nadeshko, very good girl, but also not my favorite Yo Camp girl. All the girls from Yo Camp are good, but
Yeah.
I feel like
I would have.
Nadeshko's a little too. It's a little too much at times. Her character, I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like
I
it's
wanted.
kind of the point, but also it is a bit much.
I want.
I would.
I want
Yeah.
Inuyama.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember which one that was.
She's the dog
Character.
girl, the blonde.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was good.
Or the what's her name with the dog?
Uh. What? I thought she was the one with the dog. Inuyama. What?
No, sorry. Inuyama is like her name is like some dog pun thing.
Oh.
Um,
Oh. Okay.
but let me just search this up because I can't remember her name. Yeah, Inuyama's the blonde girl who like gets the meat and stuff. I actually like Chiaki a lot too. She's such a stupid idiot. Saito, Anna Saito,
Oh. Oh
who
yeah. She's
has the
good.
little dog. She's so good. She's my
Yeah.
favorite. She's
Oh.
my absolute
Yeah.
favorite. Just like
I've heard. Yeah.
let's go camping. She's just like, no, I'm sleeping in. Fuck it, I want to go to bed.
Oh, that's very good. Oh. Out of that show, I would have gone with Rin for the
Hmm.
pick for this category.
Yeah,
but
Rin is also very good. Rin is
yeah,
very good.
I
think all the
I'm a
girls are
very
good.
chill person. Yeah, they're all very good.
Just Nadeshiko is actually surprisingly my least favorite. So I'm just like,
Mm. She brings a good energy to the show to balance out all the chillness, but yeah, she's a bit much at times.
she's like, she's the comedy that everyone else works off of, kind of. Usually.
Yeah.
Except for sometimes Ugaki, Chiaki, and Inuyama kind of work off each other as well.
Hmm.
But yeah. Yeah, I voted for Lily.
Me too.
This one I think is actually probably the best selection so far.
Mhm. I think so
Okay.
too.
By far. Best opening sequence, Darling in the
Mm.
Franxx, very good opening. Wotakoi, I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I know people made videos saying it's good.
Mhm.
Kakegurui actually has a super dope opening, but it was last year.
Yeah.
Pop Team Epic, very interesting opening. I saw Gretzko's opening today. It's not very
Mhm.
interesting at all.
Yeah.
It's really not. Why is this fucking there?
Mm.
And then we have JoJo's. All of these are good by Gretzko.
Yeah.
I want it.
So there are two glaring omissions here. One of which is Hanebado, which has a fantastic opening.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, Hanebado is like amazing.
Yeah. This is actually one I would have said for Megalobox as well. Their opening's fantastic as well.
Yeah. The other show that I think is missing is Kokoku, which no one else in the world watched other than me.
That
They have
opening's
an amazing.
it's so funky.
So good. Oh yeah, the bass is just amazing.
Yeah. Why is that? Where's the best OST? Where's the best OST? There's so many shows that would be great for that. But yeah, I question Gretzko and Kakegurui. Both of them were from last year. As much, I did actually vote for Kakegurui because I fucking love that opening intro, but I was like, it's from last year, it shouldn't be on here.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just-
actually didn't vote for anything in this because I don't know 5 of them, and the Darwin and the Franks one is the only one I know, and I don't think it's that good. Like, it's fine, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Drop of Flames again. Okay, best ending. Megalobox is here for best ending, but the opening is better than the
Yeah.
ending, by far.
Oh, the ending is so good, though.
It is good. It is very good, but I do like the opening more. Just a bit.
Yeah.
I think Megalobox were one best OST.
Oh, yeah.
We had it.
Probably. Almost
Maybe.
certainly.
There's a few shows that could maybe give it a run for its money, but
Hmm.
we got Attack on Titan Season 3. I haven't heard it. We've seen the ending.
Me either.
After the Rain.
I have no idea. Didn't see it.
There's 2 different Fooly Coolies here. Both
Yeah.
of them are pillow. What? It's the same fucking
Yeah.
thing.
The Pillars did almost the entire soundtrack for both of them. And I think for the original Fully Cool as well, which is fun.
They would have 2
There's, like-
spots on best OST as well, just because of pillows, and I'm
Yeah.
fucking pissed. Just
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
one.
The Pillars are good. I
Yeah,
will say
yeah.
the video aspects of the progressive and alternative EDs are actually pretty cool as well.
But
Just take like little cutouts of the characters into the real world and it's all photography. It's cool looking, but yeah.
Oh wait, but they just took that from Space Pirate Luluco.
Did they?
Space
I
Patrol
have no idea.
Rumiko. Yeah. Anyways, there should only be one, not two. That's fucking stupid. That's lazy.
Yeah.
That's some lazy shit there.
Yeah.
I thought they fixed that when they did it last year with all the fucking My Hero characters.
Hmm.
But come on. Come on.
Yeah. But
After the
this
Rain,
is
I
yeah.
don't know anything about.
I have no idea.
Might be decent. And Review Starlight, I've heard is very good.
Starlight. I think it is. I genuinely don't remember. I
Alright.
don't remember the ED to that one.
Best VA performance, JP. Why is Rin in here? Like, no offense, I like Rin, but she doesn't. Her character doesn't have a massive range throughout the show. Like, she's not. That's not the type of show where a character is giving like a massive performance. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
Why is she here?
Kind of a weird pull.
Why is she here? Not best girl. The fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Mamoru Miyano, always up there. Soma
Yeah.
Saito for Honda-san. Both are good. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Devilman Crybaby, but
Me either.
I've heard it's good, so maybe. Retsuko, Ruriko, it's alright, but it's from last year.
Yeah.
And Reino Ude, I haven't seen. Good man.
I don't know. Akane. I feel like Akane is like not quite the same as Rin, but is like close. She has like one or two scenes that I think are really good. There's like one in particular that is coming to mind of like, oh yeah, like the VA did a really good job in this one particular scene, but for the most part she's not super dynamic. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, like the problem is just the setting and character. It's like if it's not too much, it's like alright.
It's kind of not conducive to a big performance.
Yeah. Which makes it kind of hard to vote for. And then best VA performance English. We got more My Hero. We actually got the narrator from Mr. Tonegawa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Call Walgren for Haruka. Specifically in progressive, not alternative. Dr. Mendez for Retsuko, which again, Retsuko's here for both, literally. I guess maybe the English has a good voice actress. I don't know. I've seen the Japanese, and it's okay. I haven't seen English, but there's a lot less dubs, I guess. Tia Ballad for 02. Why is 02's actress not for... She had a really good voice actress, like... As bad as that show was, and she's also not up for Best Girl either. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's the thing that surprised me is that neither of the Darn and the Franks girls.
She got dropped from My Sakura Ejima in the last moment. Everyone was like, "Oh, that trash is over. Time to watch this new trash about bunny girls," because you can tell that's exactly where they went to from butt controls.
Then
we got Erica Harlicker from Violet Evergarden, who I have not heard the dub of. I didn't even know there was a dub, honestly.
Well, it's on Netflix. They have dubs.
When
you do the originals, they I
had no idea.
Yeah, I was watching like Children on the Whales, and they've got 3 different dubs, I think, or 4. No, 5.
I guess that's why
2
it
types of
comes
Chinese.
months later, but
Oh
wait, when it came out for USA after it finished, but it came out like weekly for Canada beforehand, so maybe that's why I didn't see it. That's on one episode. Best Director, we got Masaki Yuasa for Devilman, Atsuko Ishizuka for Place Further Than the Universe, Yo Moriyama for Megalobox, Yohei Suzuki for Planet With, Taichi Ishidate for Violet Evergarden, and Hiroko Utsumi for Banana Fish, which I'm surprised we haven't seen Banana Fish yet.
Yeah.
I think...
I'm surprised they didn't put one of them into like Best Boy.
Yeah. I think the majority of these are pretty good. They had very good direction in these shows.
Yeah.
I voted for Planet
With. I think so too. I voted for Place Further Than the Universe.
Actually, I might have voted for Place Further Than the Universe. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Oh man. We have Best Animation. Violet Evergarden, Devilman Crybaby, Place Further Than the Universe, Megalobox, Bloom Into You, the only thing it's on, and My Hero. Wait, why is none of the Bloom Into You girls in Best Girl? Wait.
Yeah.
I voted for Bloom into You for best animation because I really liked some of the stuff they were doing with the negatives, like where
Yeah.
it's like the anxiety and all goes black with the white outlines and stuff. I really liked some of the animation they were doing there, so
Yeah.
I voted for
Bloom
them.
into You is. Yeah, me too. The only other thing I would have voted for in this would have been Violet Evergarden. So I
Mm.
just remember when that first came out, they were showing like the typewriter scene, like, oh, this is all animated by hand, and it's like thousands of pages of all the individual bits moving, and they spent like 3 months animating this typewriter. It's like, oh, it's attention to detail.
I would not vote for My Hero Academia Season 3 because some of those cuts are the biggest scenes look like the dumbest shit ever and people excuse it all the time. And it, like,
Yeah.
specifically the scene where Bakugo standing still blasts off like a fucking rocket 10 like, stories away, completely different from the manga. He's just like a fucking V1 engine flying through the sky in a T-pose. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And people are like, it's amazing. I'm like, no, this looks fucking stupid. Please stop. And it's
Yeah.
here because it's My Hero. But Place Further in the Universe is actually so gorgeous. I would maybe vote for that too. And Devilman Crybaby is just so different. Like it uses off-model stuff so much, which lots of anime doesn't. So it's really interesting and different. So I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I like all four of those, but I had to go with Bloom into You because it's the only category it's nominated for, and it has some fucking gorgeous animation and some really cool stuff they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Bloom into You probably isn't going to win because of how like understated a lot of that show is.
Mm.
Like it is, the animation is really fantastic, but it is also just like a high school drama.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel like Violet Evergarden's gonna win just because of how much everyone jerked off its animation at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or My Hero because it's My Hero.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's
that's-
amazing, even the scenes that look like absolute garbage dog shit. And you can quote me on that. This season was
Yeah.
disappointingly horrible to watch. Like, it just looked ugly. They had fucking filler episode, recap episodes, first episode of the season. They rushed stuff. It was not a good season. It was bad. Read the manga instead. Anyways, best film. This is My Hero again. No.
Yeah, that's probably gonna win.
Yeah, we got My Hero, The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, which I really want to see still.
Yeah, me
In
too.
the Eye of the Future, Liz and the Bluebird, Fireworks, and Mazinger Z. I didn't even know Fireworks came out this year. I saw the Blu-ray out. I kind of want to see that too.
Yeah.
I voted
have-
for Liz and Bluebird.
I voted for Night a Short Walk On Girl because I really like that. I forget the guy who was behind that, but I did like Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I haven't seen any of these, so I didn't have anything else to vote for.
I haven't either. I voted for Liz and Bluebird because it's lesbians, and also
Yeah.
the only good piece of Hibike Euphonium material because they actually made the lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. That's my vote there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have Best Character Design, which we got Violet Evergarden. It's not Devilman, Zombieland Saga, Megalobox, Gretzko, and JoJo's.
Yeah.
Sanrio, you I have Hello Kitty. It's literally just a bunch of Hello Kitty knockoffs, so I couldn't care less about your character designs. They're not that interesting. We've seen like 50 variations of them already. JoJo's is... Well, it's
I feel like
JoJo's.
I feel like JoJo's gonna win just because it's so popular. People love JoJo's and all those characters. So
Devilman might too, because
yeah.
Devilman, again, I think for some of these things, like best character design or like best animation, just because of how different and weird it was, it might stick out more in people's minds and they might remember it more.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I think I voted for Megalobox in this one. My other choice would have been Zombieland Saga because the characters in that are really good.
I think I
So
did.
a very cool diverse cast.
I think I did Megalobox here just because it had a nice diverse cast, which I really liked.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
that was good.
an anime of the year, we got Place Further Than the Universe, Devilman Crybaby, Megalobox, Violet Evergarden, Hinamatsuri, and Zombieland Saga. And this is the weird thing to me, like, Hinamatsuri's here, when the only other thing it has is like
Hmm.
best girl. Like it apparently it's
Yeah.
lesser than everything else in all these other categories, but it's still one of the best anime. But it's because they dropped all of the like categories that lent themselves to specific genres. So anything that's like one of these lesser genres, or not lesser, but like lesser watched, like comedies and like slice of
Hmm.
lives and stuff that aren't gonna have amazing animation all the time. They're not gonna have like fight scenes or crazy direction or crazy character designs. They just kind of get screwed.
Yeah.
Same with voice acting and stuff,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
sucks. I've avoided Place for
Yeah.
Evil in the universe.
Yeah. Me too. That was legitimately my favorite anime last year.
I don't think Megalobox should have been on here. It's very good, but
Yeah, it's good, but there's definitely other stuff I would have put on here first.
I would have put Planet With above it.
Oh,
Just
I wouldn't
because
have.
it was very different and unique. But I would have put other stuff
Mm,
over Planet With as well.
yeah.
But that's just a rating of my Megalobox. I really liked it, but it's also retelling a
Hmm.
15-year-old story with nothing very new to say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And there's the two sponsored categories. Best fight scene.
which is Hina versus Anzu, which is funny to see in a best fight, so I kind of like that. Uh,
Yeah.
All for One versus All Might. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki fight from Boruto. It doesn't even have Boruto in the fight.
That
In
is
Boruto,
hilarious to me. It's
there's
Boruto, but they don't
there's
even
some
have
very
Boruto.
good animation in it. I've seen
Yeah.
some animation stills, and they're talking about like an animator who worked on it, and there's some very nice stuff. Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball's never had good fight animation. Get the fuck out of here. Yami vs. Lick, Black Clover. Black Clover has dog shit animation. It's awful. Every time I see a clip of it, I can't finish it because it's actually terrible to watch, especially the fights. Like it's so stiff. Like there's no I don't know. You just watch maybe the Yami vs. Lick like specific fight is better, but all the
Hmm.
fights I saw, it's like it's like a Naruto filler episode fight.
Oh, oof. Yikes.
Yeah, it's like you could have picked fights from other stuff. Like once again, a Planet With episode is better
Mm,
than that or Goku because they had some actually pretty cool fights.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, what about the
some other shows.
Joe versus Yuri from Megalobox?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
th-
I
I
was
think that's
surprised
really
that
good.
wasn't in there.
Yeah, or like
I
just any of the fights from
I would have
Megalobox could
actually
have rated.
I would have Megalobox him versus the guy with the prosthetic legs.
Oh
That
yeah,
fight
that was
was
really good too.
super good. I don't know why that's not here. Um,
Mm. It's weird that the boxing anime didn't get the best fight.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's a
Yeah.
bit awkward.
I yeah. I ended up voting for Satan versus Devilman because the phrase Satan versus Devilman is just hilarious to me. And
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of these six shows, so I have
Uh,
no real opinion.
Release the Spice actually had some really good fight animation too. Some really
Huh.
neat fights in that. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you can't count badminton as a fight.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
surprised there's
really.
like no cells at work stuff here actually, too,
Yeah.
at all. Like there's nothing from cells at work on here, and it was super popular for a while.
Mm.
Where's my calamity of a zombie girl basketball fight?
Oh god, that would have
Actually,
been
wait,
great.
why are there no Sword Art Online Gun Gale Online fights? There was the fucking cut off her hands and bite her to like so the one girl catches the other girl and she's holding her up between two hands by one of her hands and her other friend's tied up, but she has a
Hmm.
hairpin this whole time that's brass knuckles with a knife. And
Yeah.
it was bugging me the whole time, and she cuts the tape on it, pulls out the knife, runs up, cuts her friend's hands off, both of them, so the other girl's not holding her, then kicks her
Yeah.
into the other girl, and she bites her throat out. Like, it's so badass. There were some really
Yeah.
good fights in that, and they're not here.
Mm.
How did that not get anything at all either?
Yeah.
Wait a
I don't know.
second. there was a season of Yoramushi Pedal this year. Where was Onoda and Best Boy? They've screwed him again.
Oh,
There's no Golden Kamuy fights here either.
yeah. I was thinking that, but I'm not. I can't really think of any individual fights from that though. Like, I don't know. I can think of some really good moments where like Sugimoto gets like a knife through his cheek. And that's
Yeah.
like, but like the fights as a whole are kind of not. I don't know.
I was thinking of the like sniping fight in the guy who's like resting and recovering it with the a surface
yeah.
village. That sniping fight was
Yeah.
really good. I've
That
only
was
seen
cool.
clips of it, and I'm like, that's fantastic. Let's see. Card captors, there would have been fights. Toji no Miko.
That's a show.
Where's the fights from that?
Actually, what Kokoku had some good fights in it, and Killing Bites as well.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at my list of shows I watch now.
Mershin Maidsin fights. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple wasn't up for best movie.
Yeah.
I guess people forgot about it though.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Yuki Yuna season this year too. It ended in 2018. It started 11/25/17, but ended 1/6/18. So I think that qualifies it.
I don't think it does. I think that would have been put in best continuing series because I think March Comes in Like a Lion was like that. I think.
But I think because it ended in this year, it counts for like the end of year stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think best continuing series. I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, out of these fights,
yeah,
Satan Man versus Devilman's probably.
Yeah.
Because
I just like that phrase. That's so funny.
Satan versus Devilman. But that's actually a really neat animated fight. But yeah, best.
I mean, My Hero's gonna win. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the big fight between All for One versus All Might, and it's in the same scene where Bakugo shoots off like a fucking bottle rocket, and it's the dumbest thing in the world. Best continuing season, we got Ancient Magus Pride, Dragon Ball Super. Lots of people like it. Black Clover, lots of people like it. One Piece is going to win because it's fucking One Piece.
Yeah, probably.
Like, all of these are just ongoing shonen, except for Ancient Magus Pride and March Comes in Like a Lion. The rest of them are just shonen. Yeah. It's like, there were other ongoing things you could have chosen that's not shonen, but people like shonen, and all the people who vote on this are all old school people who grew up with shonen.
Yeah.
Just give me another World Trigger season. Then I'll be okay with all the shonen.
Yeah.
Also, give me back Best OST, you fucking cowards.
Yeah.
That's the one Megalobox should have won.
Oh, definitely. Such a good soundtrack.
Wait a second. No. Best opening.
Megalobox. What? Megalobox is the best opening. It's only random.
No. Best opening. Why is Devilman not on best opening?
Because they have no taste.
That opening fucking slaps. It's so good. Why is a Gretzko over here? Gretzko's opening is so fucking pathetic. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have so many haters. I'm just here shit talking everything. I'll fucking do it. Fight me.
Yeah.
I'll say what the cowards are too scared to.
So yeah, that's it for the nominees. I don't think this happens until like February. Yeah, February 16th.
So many of these are terrible.
Yeah.
Let's look at the people who voted.
Well, it was terrible last year too, so.
They like fixed some of this stuff from last year and then fucked up even more stuff. Like, view last year's winners, right? Like, they had like too many Boku no Hero characters in the Best Boy, Best Girl categories. They dropped Best Manga this year.
Yeah, that's weird.
I like that they changed Best Hero and Best Villain to Protagonist, Antagonist, but they're still using Antagonist as Villain because they put the dude from Overlord in it. Because they don't fucking understand what an antagonist is. If it's his story, he is the protagonist of his story.
Yeah.
Like, They
Yeah,
dropped
that's.
the categories, which is fine because they sucked anyways, and put like comedies and slice of life and slice of life's in comedy, and everything was in
Hmm.
the wrong category anyways.
Yeah, that's why I'm like that's why I don't like genre awards in general is because like best action like most shows have action in them and best comedy is like if a show has a joke it can get nominated for best comedy and that doesn't it's not good. They always get misused to just give awards to shows that are going to win other things anyway, which is
So
always a bummer.
they added best director, which was good.
Hmm. That
But
was
like
good.
you drop like one, two, three, four categories, five because they
Hmm.
dropped best CGI, six because they dropped best score,
Hmm.
um, seven from dropping best manga, and then they added like three, I think, two,
I think
best director
something. Yeah.
and best fight
Okay.
scene,
Yeah.
and
Which
then
the best fight I think only got added because of Capcom.
yeah, but that's like five difference. Did you really need to drop five entire categories? Like,
Yeah.
again, you could have kept best score or best manga, which are
Hmm.
two of like the least. I guess it's anime awards, so fine, drop best manga. I get it, but
Hmm.
like best score, like a score is so important to anime, and it's one of those things that's really easy to miss a fantastic score in a not great anime.
Hmm.
So it's really a shame that they just like, no, we're just not doing it now because people won't even find out about some of these fantastic scores. I'm like,
Yeah. The only thing I could understand them dropping is the best CGI category because I don't know that there was any like really amazing CGI this year that like would be enough to have six nominees for.
yeah,
That might have been some of it is like maybe best score there just weren't enough things that people felt strongly enough about to have six
there's
like
so
good nominees
much,
for it. Was
so
there?
much.
I don't
Devilman,
know.
Megalobox. Um, I forget what shows came out last year. Euro Camp actually had a super comfy OST. Like I
Mm,
really liked it. Release the Spice OST was fucking. It was a bop. It was fucking great. It was jamming.
mm,
Hanebato's was actually really good too.
yeah, Hannibal was good.
Yeah, yeah. Planet with no, no. Every time, I actually the OST in Gun Gale Online is fantastic. They have like
Hmm.
insert songs at points because one of the characters is like an idol, and they're super super good. Um, heck, like Golden Kamuy had a great soundtrack too.
Mm, mm,
Cause like it doesn't have to be like super energetic and stuff. Like you can have really comfy soundtracks too,
hmm.
like Comic Girls. Like that's the thing. There's a lot.
Yeah. Mm,
Okay, no,
uh,
Agretzko deserves to be in this year because it came out 420.
nice.
Nice.
The sex number. I get it.
The sex number. Well,
Yeah.
oh yeah, also Kokoku.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a
yeah.
bunch of great scores. That's
Well,
just stuff that I had
I
checked.
don't know if I would say the entire score. It has that one really good song,
I,
and the ending is pretty good too.
no, I
I
thought
don't
the rest of
remember
it was
anything
just.
else about the.
I haven't watched it.
I genuinely don't remember. Like that's
I,
the thing is there's so many shows I remember like the opening and ending, but the everything in the middle is like a blur.
mhm.
So that's probably the other problem with best score is it's just so hard to remember
Yeah,
because a lot of shows they don't stand out really.
I
So
just search up soundtracks and listen to them a lot, so I guess that's why I remember them more.
yeah,
Like
that could be it.
Shocking Ping Pong Girls, not a great anime. It could have won a best score award though, if it was up.
Yeah.
I want to know who was nominated last year because I want to know if Kimono Friends was because that had a fantastic score too.
Mm.
That's the problem. I can't see nominees from last year, just who won.
I can try and search that up.
Hmm.
Oh, I found it. For best score, was Main Abyss, Little Witch Academia, Land of the Lustrous, Ancient Magus' Bride, Akka, and Recreators.
Okay, so Kimono Friends should have been in there over
Mm.
Little Witch Academia because honestly, it didn't actually have that good of a score.
Yeah.
But
Man.
but yeah, Akka.
Recreators, that was a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aka's
Akka's
was
good.
fantastic. I'm listening to it right now, which we'll jump
Oh.
into in just a second. Uh,
Yeah.
And yeah, Made of the Best definitely deserved to win that, but Land of the Lustrous is fantastic as well. Like,
Mm,
Place Further Than the Universe this year has a fantastic score as well.
yeah.
It's so good at pulling out those emotions. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Anyway.
I feel like that wasn't one they needed to drop, and I'm pissed at them for it because scores are some of my
Yeah.
favorite parts. And when I see all of those nominated, I'm like, oh fuck, I never even heard of this show. This is fantastic. That's my
Mm-hmm.
jam. But yeah, I guess we should.
Anyway. We should probably move on because we're like an hour and a half in, and we're
Yeah,
not even doing
we
news.
have one more news, and then we have book club. Thank
Yeah.
God we're only doing less book club.
Yeah.
Inspector's Gang in anime. Woo!
Yeah.
I love it. Also, I didn't realize, because it's actually kind of hard to find the information, that the manga is actually done by, or it's actually based off a light novel. To my
Oh.
knowledge, because Kyosho Dera, to my knowledge, has done other manga just as manga. From what I'd heard, Inspector is just another manga by Kyosho Dera and drawn by someone else, but it's like, no, Kyo's actually writing it as a light novel, and then it got adapted. I'm
Mm,
like, oh, okay, I like the manga, but now I want the light
cool.
novels in English. I am going to be sending them all into Seven Seas. Give me these light novels. Give them to me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our last news. That news just came out today. So yeah, can't wait to see that in whenever that gets around to coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
there's
yeah.
9 volumes out right now. There's 8 in English.
Mm,
It's fun. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this.
yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah. So yeah, shall we move on to a book club now?
All right, yeah, let's get to book club because we're going
No. Yeah.
overtime. I gotta
Going
sleep
long.
soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went first last time. You go first this time.
All right. Yeah. I thought I wasn't going to have a lot to say about this episode, and then the end of the episode happened, and suddenly I had a lot to think about. Because, like, it was kind of funny, because halfway through this episode, I was thinking, like, oh, I wonder if, like, if this Mudwell thing is, like, a prison colony or something, and they're all, like, exiles from the mainland, and that's why they're out here in the sea. And then it turns out that might totally be what it is, because at the end of this episode is when the cops show up. And on some other ship thing, they show up and start shooting at everyone. It's like, oh,
The band
everything
of
has suddenly
roving
changed.
the band of roving juggalos is here. I
Yeah.
didn't think that was till after episode 3.
No, that's the very end of 2.
I have to rewatch episode 3. I don't remember what happened now. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't drag on as much as I thought. But yeah. Ooh.
Mm. Yeah, that was. It's like, yeah.
Did,
Oh,
did,
yeah, go ahead.
did you think it was going to be a love triangle between Chocolate
No.
Tommy and Lycos?
No, not really. It didn't seem like that kind of show. I was like struggling to figure out what this show was going to be. Like I knew like, oh, there's secrets and the elders know stuff and they're not telling people and they're gonna find a way to figure out that stuff. But like I don't know, I thought like, oh, they're gonna leave the mud whale and sail somewhere, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then like they went to the other floating island that came by and then immediately got taken back to the mud whale. So like, okay, I guess that's not happening. So then what is this show going to be? And now like, oh, I guess they're gonna have to leave because everyone on the mudwell is gonna be dead now. So that's cool. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes. And also, it was weird that like brought up the like emotion eater thing that Lycos had seen, and then like just kind of breezed past it and like, oh, we're on other stuff now. I was like, oh, weird. I don't know. So weird show. This episode got so much weirder than the first episode was, but I'm into it. I'm a lot more excited for next week than I was this time last week, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like the point where it's like the turning point.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very interested. I don't really have much more to say about it than that, so yeah. Move on to Akka and
Yeah. Yeah. Next episode's gonna be great for you. Gonna get into all the fun stuff. God, I love the animation of Children of the Well, though.
Yeah,
The
it's pretty good.
backgrounds, all the watercolors, they're really pretty.
Yeah, it's a very pretty color palette. I love that a whole lot.
I like the music too. It has a really good opening and ending.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Alright, I guess we'll get into Akka,
Yeah.
which has
Ac-
not gotten to its massive turning point yet.
No,
But
I,
we've gone into somewhat of a turning point. We're turning.
yeah.
We're in the middle of turning. Um,
Hmm.
so, God, they're setting up Jean as being like setting up a coup d'état, but I feel like that's a red herring.
Yeah.
But it could not be, and it's supposed to make you feel like it's a red herring where it's not. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right now, it can still go any which way.
Hmm.
There's some really interesting stuff here. Like, we find out he says, or he gets his cigarettes for free.
Hmm.
Which, okay, where does he get them from? And he goes to a
Yeah.
hotel and ends up with some new one, some new maker they've never seen. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. And they make a note of it too. The spy makes a note of it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's interesting. The spy is his friend, who he says, yeah, we've known each other for 15 years, and then the spy's like, I've been watching him for 30. It's like, okay, first off, that's creepy. How old are you? You've been watching him since he's a kid, but implying that he's been watching him since he's been like a kid makes you
Yeah.
question if maybe this has been a whole conspiracy around him since he was first born,
Hmm.
possibly.
Yeah. I never picked up on that the first time through. So when he said like, "Oh, I've known him for 30 years," I was like, "What?" Like,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It's like
he has known him for 30 years."
there's
I remember this
something
now.
there.
Yeah.
I'm really curious with Mo for the like, yeah, okay, we're handling it, no more inspections, and she's like, okay, and then immediately starts going to Jean, which
Hmm.
it's like they specifically take her off inspections where they told him to specifically go, unless
Hmm.
if they didn't tell him to specifically go, and one person has specifically done it because one person's trying to frame him and set him up, because
Yeah.
you know the cop trying to set him up could be foreshadowing, but then he helps the cop out too, which does without like turning him in and stuff, just by framing him, and sort of also makes him look like he might be planning something himself. But
Hmm.
it also at the same time feels like John just doesn't, or John Otis, he just doesn't give a shit. He's just doing his normal job, and everyone's trying to make some kind of political patsy out of him, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm doing my job, I don't care.
Hmm.
Almost. The bread in this episode was a little awkward.
Oh,
It looked silly.
the gigantic bread.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, yeah, this place, all the food is giant, so everyone's turned giant. It's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
People don't
It's
just
so
grow
weird.
taller. I think it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, the oxygen here makes everything bigger, including the people,
Hmm.
but the kids get smaller each year. It's like,
Mm.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that's working.
That's kind of one of my criticisms of the show is like every different area they go to has like its own thing and counters on to like everything is just like a monoculture. Like this one is everything's big. And
Which
there's
makes
one of
no
them
sense
is
how that works.
yeah. Yeah, and, like they're all kind of like that. Like this doesn't actually make much sense. So there's just like a weird style thing. But then they're never in any one place for very long, so I kind of get why they would do it.
The soundtrack
But yeah.
is still very good. Actually,
Yeah.
you know what's probably happening? His sister is probably the one doing
Oh,
the coup d'état, and
yeah.
they all think it's him, and that's why he
Interesting.
works there is to cover up for her. Ooh, maybe.
Mm,
I don't
maybe.
know the way she hung out with what's his name, who that
You
Nino,
know?
who's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hang out with anyone but you, makes me feel like she's a bit more involved,
Mm, yeah.
a bit more, especially with his stuff. Maybe he's actually working for her, but he seems to know that Nino is more than just a journalist too, because he gets Nino to get rid of the person following him. Like he knows
Yeah.
there's something more there as well.
Yeah. Well, at
Clearly.
one point they mentioned Nino was used to be a PI. I think it's when he's talking to the sister.
Yeah.
She says like you're a PI turned journalist. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's something more because he's
Yeah.
specifically like, can you get rid of them for me and let me know about this stuff?
Yeah. Like a PI isn't something you can just become. You usually have experience somewhere before that, you know.
But it's also not something you can just go, oh yeah, take out this guy following me. Like just
Yeah. That's
so
that's something.
that's why I feel like he might know a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I'm very, very interested though. Because again, right now I can still go every way.
Mm-hmm.
There's the cop that hates the bourgeoisie, so he might be
Yeah.
involved because he hates rich people, wants to take him down. So that actually gives a very
Yeah.
high chance of him being involved in some kind of coup d'état against the people he sees as rich.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's also, he's probably going to be the one person who's not fully involved, and he's probably going to catch or kill the person who's fully involved at the end and have to make a choice.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Interesting.
You know, I
Well,
make
it's
those
all
crazy theories like, fuck,
Yeah.
that one was blue, that one was pink.
Mm-hmm.
That means one of them, he stole the blue one, so Subaru is going to be evil. Or so, like, you gotta make the
Yeah.
wild assumptions. You gotta make them. I
Mm-hmm.
think by the end of this, Nino and Mauve will be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no, actually, I actually don't think anyone's gonna die. Surprisingly enough,
Yeah. Mm.
it doesn't seem like that sort of grim dark
Yeah.
conspiracy. It seems like more they just go to jail if they're caught. Maybe
Yeah.
one character will die. Maybe.
I actually don't remember. So,
Yeah, probably not a
I
lot
don't
then
know.
if you can't remember. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
I
I mean,
hate
it
the
has been
police
like
guy.
2 years, so.
I hate the police guy so much.
Oh yeah, he sucks.
He sucks. Keep him away from the
Agent
sister.
Rail.
But
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's also a creep.
yeah, he's a real creep. He's a stalker creep.
Yeah.
Basically regular police stuff, you know. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said that. Whoops.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Mm.
Yeah. I
So, well,
liked some of the backstory in the country where it's like, oh, 99 years ago. It's like, 100 years exactly for this coup d'etat. Uh,
yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, this bird's also like extinct now.
Mm.
It's just dead. There's no Akka left. It's like, oh, okay.
Well,
That's kind of mimicking the country, I guess, that's going to die. And why are
yeah.
there 5 chiefs? That,
I don't
curious
know.
about that. Why are there 5?
I,
At a
I
pentagon.
think
Pentagon.
I think it's at like Akka, the way it like breaks down. I think there's like a chart that it showed at one point in the first episode, and I think that breaks
Oh.
down like 5 things, and there's a bunch of things beneath those 5.
There's like 4 main, and then there's like Grossula or whatever, who's like the head.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something like that.
Yeah. Something like that.
Mm. One thing I realized in this episode is that they're way more upfront with about Nino being like a spy than
Yeah,
I
they're-
remembered them being. I thought they were a lot more subtle about it, and that was revealed. But nope. Episode 2.
Well, yeah, when he's walking into the room and you see the shadow, like, oh shit, that's Nino. And then it didn't show it immediately, and I didn't think they were going to show this episode. I thought they were
Yeah.
going to keep it really subtle, then they just show it, like, oh shit,
Yeah.
guess that's
It's like,
that.
oh,
But
yeah.
because they were so upfront about it, I'm now like, okay, but is he a double agent? Is he a triple agent?
Yeah.
Quadruple agent? Fuck.
How deep does it go?
How deep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any final
have-
thoughts on Akka? Yeah.
I'll have more theories next week once I get a bit more.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I guess that will probably about do it for us this week then. This was a long episode, so we had a lot to talk about.
Just the awards and the manga, which we talked so much about. It was mostly
Yeah.
just me ranting about it. I'm so sorry. I do that
Yeah,
so often.
mostly. That's okay.
I have strong opinions, and my mouth must scream.
Mm. So yeah, if you want to listen to us scream about opinions, you can watch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sasam. Or you can follow our YouTube at Shenanimegans.my. Subscribe to us there, and we'll get caught up on episodes eventually, I promise. And, you can join our Discord at shenanimans.my/Discord, or you can follow us on Twitter at @ThatLastly and at SasamBots. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that'll do it for this week.
thank you very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next week. And hopefully the frames will not drop next week.
Hopefully.
Fingers
We'll
crossed.
see. Who could say?
Alright, take care.
Bye-bye.